Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Edelin, Director of Wolf Trap Institute for Early Learning Through the Arts. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to this webinar, Arts Across the Curriculum, which is made possible by the generous support of Suzanne and Glenn Yunkin. We'd love to know who's in the audience today. We're going to do a quick poll. You'll find the poll tab on the right-hand side of your screen. Just click on that and it will take you to the poll. So please take a second now and let us know your role with early childhood. While you're completing the poll, I'll tell you a little bit more about Wolf Trap. Wolf Trap Foundation for the Performing Arts is a nonprofit performing arts organization located just outside of Washington, D.C. Wolf Trap Institute for Early Learning Through the Arts is Wolf Trap's flagship education program that partners with teachers and families to give young children joyful, active learning experiences in and through the arts. The arts make children's earliest learning experiences meaningful, engaging, and exciting. Even in this time of social distancing, the arts can foster interactive, creative learning environments and encourage connection. We hope that today's webinar will give you a taste of how you can use the arts in a variety of curriculum areas, including science, social emotional learning, and literacy. I'm joined by three Wolf Trap master teaching artists, Valerie Branch, Kofi Dennis, and Penny Russell. They are going to share some arts-based strategies that you can use whether you're teaching in virtual or in-person environments. So now let's check in on the poll. And I'm just going to go over there for a second. Wonderful. It looks like we have an audience of primarily early childhood educators, as well as some school administrators, some teaching artists and arts administrators, as well as some folks that connect with early childhood in other ways. Welcome to you all. Before we dive into today's content, I want to share a little bit more about the platform you're on now, which is called BlueJeans. In the slide we're on now, you'll see an arrow pointing to the chat feature on the right-hand side of the screen. We encourage you to interact and share your ideas and questions in the chat. We'll take some time at the end of today's webinar for some conversations. On BlueJeans, you'll also have the option to make the presenter's video or the PowerPoint larger. There's a slider underneath the video and the PowerPoint that you can move to adjust the size. And on the slide, you'll see right now, the slider is indicated by the arrow towards the bottom of the screen. You may need to hover your mouse over the area for the slider to appear. If you're on a mobile device, you can swipe left or right to alternate between the PowerPoint and the video. Also, please note that we will be recording this video or this webinar today so that we can share it with those who were not able to join us. A reminder that it's only our presenters that are on video today, so your image will not be shown. So let's get started. Our first presenter is Penny Russell. Penny is a Wolf Trap master teaching artist and an amazing puppeteer and musician. She's performed for schools across the country, as well as for the Kennedy Center, Adventure Theater, and the National Theater, amongst others. Penny's presentation will focus on how to use puppetry to introduce children to science concepts and ignite their natural curiosity about the world around them. And because learning in early childhood is so interconnected, you'll also see how you can use puppetry for classroom management and to support children's social emotional development. I'll turn it over to you, Penny.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Penny Russell, and I am a Wolf Trap master teaching artist, and my art form is puppetry.
Yeah. And my name is Jasper. Hi. And I am a puppet, and I'm a gray squirrel, and I have a bushy tail. Yeah. And I am the star of this segment of the webinar.
Okay, Jasper, I would like to have a little bit of a conversation with them before you come in. So I'll have you back.
Great. I'm really good at getting focus. Yeah. Hi.
Okay, just give me a minute and then come back.
Okay.
So I want to invite you all to puppeteer with me for a moment. I'm going to invite you to squeeze your fingers together and open and close your hand with your thumb. And we can open, close, open, close, open, close. And you can imagine you have two eyes just on top of your fingers. Or if you're lucky enough to have Ingrid Crapo's book, A Show of Hands, a great, another Wolf Trap master teaching artist, you can use her anything eyes and have real eyes. You don't have to imagine. But I want you to imagine you have those eyes on top of your fingers, and I want you to imagine that you are making eye contact with everyone in your classroom. If your classroom is virtual, you make eye contact with everyone by looking right at the camera. And eye focus, I think, is the most important part of using puppetry with young children. So you can practice by making your puppets look up, puppets look down, puppets look all around. And it's very exciting what you can do. It's very dynamic, all movements in this little box that some of us are teaching with right now, because you can make a very, very intense close-up, and you can do a medium shot, and you can do a long shot.
I'm back here now.
You can also do some wonderful things like entrances and exits. And you can even climb the walls and move across the screen in lots of interesting ways. So thanks, guys. Okay, we'll let Jasper come back now, and you can shake your hands out. Okay, Jasper, I want to talk about using a classroom character, and you are one of those things. You are a classroom character.
That's right. That's me.
And I know there's lots of ways that you have used classroom characters in your classroom. I would love when you get a chance to put some of your ideas in the chat, and you can share with your peers who are here today. But Jasper, I want to talk a little bit about how a classroom character can set expectations or help reinforce expectations.
Yeah, because sometimes I think, well, I've never really been to school before. So I need to learn, like, what you expect of me. And when we come together for a circle, can I stand on my head? That's a question. And is it okay if I'm moving around like this? What are you supposed to do?
Young children are very good at regulating others before regulating themselves, so they'll be happy to share the rules and regulations with your children. It's also a great opportunity to review.
Oh, yeah, see, sorry, I just entered and I missed that story. So, who were the characters? Mm-hmm. What was the setting? Mm-hmm.
Or one of my favorites,
what did you do today?
And maybe they can practice putting into words what just happened in that lesson or that day with you before someone at home might ask them, what did you do today? They might have already practiced forming those words to give to Jasper. One of my friends who I think is on this webinar today taught me using a puppet who needs a lot of reinforcement from the children.
Sorry everyone, but I forgot my ABCs. Can you help me?
And the children, again, will love to be the helpers. And I've heard that they're very empathetic, and they will tell the puppet, it's okay, we're here to help you. Such a great way to practice empathy with a character who will not get offended if they don't quite get it right the first time. Another way that we can use a classroom character, can you get Pete for me?
Okay, be right back.
Is to really help with transitions. I worked with a young child in a classroom, he had a very hard time. He wasn't able to come to a circle time. It was overwhelming, too much stimulation for him to come to circle time. But we were using a Pete the Cat doll as a puppet in the classroom. And one day I asked if he would sit with Pete and help Pete participate in the class, and he did. And he helped Pete raise his hand and join in with our songs. And from that day, he was able, with the help of Pete, to come to all of the circle times. And Pete became a real powerful transition object for him. And he would just go get Pete whenever he needed to do something he was a little uncomfortable with. So classroom characters have so many uses. My favorite, though, is to use them as an outdoor ambassador, because I love the outdoors. I want the children to love the outdoors as much as I do. So we might use a classroom character
Like me,
who is an expert on their habitat.
Yeah, see, this is my tree where I live, and I live right in this hole. Yeah, and they call it a den, but I'm not a bear. No. And then some of my cousins live in these big nests up in the branches. That's called a dray.
So your classroom character might be an expert on the outdoors, or your classroom character may need the support of the children in class.
Oh no! My tree is changing colors. The leaves are falling. I'm afraid it's sick.
And the children can say, no, it's fall. This is what is supposed to happen. And they can let Jasper know that everything will be okay. And in the spring, new leaves will come. And his tree is not sick.
Thank you so much.
Your classroom character, outdoor ambassador, might be from far, far away.
Oh, hello, I'm from the ocean. Have you ever been to the ocean?
And can teach your children about some place that's very far away, or they might not have been to.
And don't forget to put your trash in the trash can, because sometimes, let me show you, you might drop something and it flows into the stream, then the river, then the bay, then my home. Please throw away your trash. Thank you.
So you can develop empathy, understanding of another place with these outdoor ambassadors. Your outdoor ambassador might show up in the fall and be very popular, but then when it starts to get chilly,
oh, sorry everybody, it's me, Bernie, and I'm getting really tired. I think it's time for me to hibernate. I'll see you in the spring.
Yeah, it's time for me to migrate. I'm going to Mexico where it's warm. Bye.
and you might be looking for the signs of spring, so you know it's time for your friends to come back. Jasper, we want to tell you a little bit more about your tree, okay?
Okay.
So this tree was actually made by my friend Jennifer Condon, and she teaches kindergarten, and she made it out of a cardboard box.
That's true.
And you too could make your own tree for your classroom out of a cardboard box. If you use a small box, it could be a tabletop tree or something to sit on a shelf. This is a pretty tall box, so it made a very nice sized tree for my friend Jasper. And my suggestion is you use this tree and you follow a tree in your neighborhood or on the block of your school, something you might see every day, and then you come back and recreate that tree inside. So you might make some leaf puppets.
Hello, I'm Mabel the maple tree. I'm a maple leaf, actually. I came from the tree.
And then you walk around with your maple leaf puppets and see if you can find any other trees with this shaped leaf. And then you follow this tree throughout the seasons and you change the color depending on what is happening. Not on what you expect to happen, but what you actually observe on your walks around the neighborhood. When those wonderful helicopter seeds come out, you can add those to your tree. You can change your tree with the seasons. Your tree can be home to all of your outdoor classroom characters. this tree, I've used fabric. It's a quick way to change for the season. So all winter, I might just leave it without any leaves on it, and we'll be waiting for those signs of spring to do more things with our tree. Another thing you can do with your tree is create this habitat for all of the different creatures, bugs, bees, birds, squirrels, chipmunks who might live in the tree. And the nice thing is, next spring, when you find a nest in your tree, because it's a puppet tree, you can take that nest down and you can look in that nest and see what is waiting there. And we'll teach them that we won't do this with our tree on the block, but we can do this with our puppet tree and learn so much about the creatures who live in this tree and their life cycles. You might not have all of these puppets sitting at your home waiting to fill your tree. So there's lots of ways you can create puppets from what you have wherever you're teaching from. So I might make a very simple bird puppet just from a piece of paper and a craft stick. And I might use this puppet for tracking for the very young. Up and down, up and down, up and down, and all around. Also can help children develop the perception of figure and ground. They can separate this puppet from what's happening in the background. So puppets are a great way to develop that perception as well. Another reason I really like using puppetry with young children is that it helps make stories, songs, finger plays concrete for those visual learners, for language development, for all kinds of learners. So you might have two little blackbirds sitting on a hill, one named Jack and the other named Jill. Fly away, Jack, fly away, Jill. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jill. Two little blackbirds sitting on a hill, one named Jack and the other named Jill. Again, a very simple design of a puppet with materials that you could make wherever you're teaching from. I've also found that this virtual environment is a wonderful place for finger puppets. So you might want to bring out those finger puppets that you have stored away, because a finger puppet can take up the whole screen. Here we go. One little duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said, thank you, quack, 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 quack. And two little ducks came waddling back. So again, use it for all your math lessons, for your songs and stories. We're counting up for the young children to develop some number sense. Your children are older. You might sing the traditional way and count down. These are very simple. A piece of paper rolled into a tube, taped to another piece of paper in which I just drew our little bird. So a very simple way to make your own puppets. I made some out of felt. I am not a visual artist, so anything I can do, you can make even more amazing. The same idea of a two-dimensional head connected to a tube. And you can make any character you need for your stories and songs. The last thing I want to show you is how anything can be a puppet. I believe that anything that is not alive, anything inanimate, you animate it, it becomes a puppet. Think about that eye focus. And we can do gross motor movement, and we jump, and we jump, and we jump, and we stop. And we jump, and we jump, and we jump, and we stop. And even a stuffed animal with some eye focus can have a conversation about emotions, can dance to the beautiful sounds of nature, and can keep that focus in your virtual or your in-person classroom. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Penny. And please submit any questions or comments that you have for Penny, and we will address those in the Q&A portion of today's session. Our next presenter is Valerie Branch. Valerie is a Wolf Trap master teaching artist specializing in dance and is the affiliate director of Maryland Wolf Trap. Valerie is also the founder and artistic director of VB Dance Ensemble, a professional contemporary company focused on bringing social and cultural awareness and change through the power of dance. Valerie is going to share about how to use dance to support children's social emotional development. In early childhood, we know that social emotional development is just as important to children's learning as their academic development. In Valerie's presentation, you'll see how the elements of dance can be a vehicle for self-expression, for collaboration, and for building community in your classroom. Please join me in welcoming Valerie.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and welcome everyone. As Jennifer said, I am a Wolf Trap master teaching artist, and my art form is dance. And we are going to be dancing and moving together today. And I'm going to share with you 2 strategies that I really love to use in the space with our early learners. And I think it's an opportunity for us as facilitators of information to help build classroom culture, to help children to become comfortable with using their bodies as a form of expression, as a form of understanding how they're feeling, or how to tell stories about themselves or about books and curriculum that they are learning and reading about. So this first strategy that I'm going to share with you today is called Pass the Dance. And again, really thinking about how we can use this strategy to bring about self-expression, collaboration, turn-taking, and responsible decision-making. I love this strategy because it really invites an opportunity for us to create together in a non-judgmental space, and it allows us to explore all of the possibilities that our bodies can make in this space. So in Pass the Dance, I really love to start with non-locomotor movements, which are movements around the body's axis, like twist, shake, stretch, fall, melt, pull, or sway. And so I invite you to move along with me during these next few minutes. So if you can't see me very big, I invite you to also go ahead and make me a little bit bigger and make the PowerPoint a little bit smaller, but we are going to keep the PowerPoint up. So the first portion of Pass the Dance starts with one finger. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and bring up your one finger, and we're just going to go ahead and move it, just like this. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 5 fingers moving. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5, 6, 7. Other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All 5 of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Put it in your arm. 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring it up higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Put it in your waist. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Put it in your head. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. In your side body. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. I wonder if we can take a look at this non-locomotor movement chart, and if you can put in the chat, what non-locomotor movement were we doing just now with all different body parts? It's the same movement each time, but we changed it and put it in different body parts. If you know which one it is, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Was it wiggle, pull, curve? Oh, I see. Carter put in the chat that it is bend. So if you're thinking bend or you're getting ready to write bend, you are correct. We were bending different body parts. So now we're going to move on to the next portion, the next step of Pass the Dance. So we always start with our fingers. We always start with our base non-locomotor movement, okay? So both fingers, here we go. Bending. 2, 3, and 4. All 10 fingers. 6, 7 in your arms. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up high. 5, 6, 7 in your waist. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7. Change the movement. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7. Change the movement. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7. Change the movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. We started with bending. Then we went to some other non-locomotor movements. Put in the chat, what other non-locomotor movements did we just explore just now in our second step of Pass the Dance? What did you notice us doing together in this space? I see shaking, I see stretching and swaying. All right, so I see that you are using your non-locomotor movement vocabulary context. Very good. Let's move on to the third step. So we know that the first step was just introducing one non-locomotor movement. The second step, introducing a few more non-locomotor movements. And step 3, now we get to be a little bit more creative. So you as the facilitator, taking a little bit more risks in the possibilities that your body can make in this space. So we always start with bending. So we're going to start here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Change the movement. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Let's get creative. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Change the movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7. Change the movement. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. Okay, so that was these are all just a little teaser into what are the steps of Pass the Dance. And so you'll notice that when I got creative, I really was trying to think about how can I take these ideas of non-locomotor movement and make it something that felt like my own contribution into this space, a little bit of who Valerie is in this space, right? And so then we as the facilitators of information, especially when you're first introducing Pass the Dance, then you can start to describe, right? Like, what did you see? What did you notice about this different idea of circling? When we normally think about circling, we think about big arm circles, right? But no, we can circle different. We can circle our arms around each other. We can circle our arms around our head, right? We can have this kind of sharp, reaching, bending movement happening with our arms too. And it's still a great form of creativity in this space. Okay, so now I said that this strategy was called Pass the Dance. What happens next? What happens next is that now your children have all of the base tools and resources in order to access movement opportunities. So we get ready to pass. And we have 3 different options. First option is when it's your turn, you can do any base non-locomotor movement, right? You can even just do this dancing with your fingers. Or Second, you can get really, really creative in whatever movement you do, we're going to follow. Or when it's your turn, you can totally pass, right? And you can say, having so much fun, love this, moving and dancing with my friends, but I'm not quite ready to share yet. Because we know that what this is kind of introducing is this idea of public speaking in the space, right? All eyes are on you. And so some children might not be ready for that right away. So we give them that opportunity to say, I'm not quite ready yet. Okay, so here's how you might do it in a space if you are with children in a classroom space, right? So you'll introduce, we'll start here as we normally have been starting through all of these rounds. We'll get all of our fingers bending. You might decide to go through again, different body parts bending. Then you might decide to bring out another base non-locomotor movement, even another one. And then you as the facilitator of information, then you think about, okay, you can bring it back old school for them, right? Think about a non-locomotor movement to do that is creative and is your own, and you do it. And then when you're done, then you say, ready and pass. And you can look at the person that's on this side of you or on this side of you, whichever side you want to go to, and then whatever option that student makes, that's what they're going to make. And it is true that some students will say pass. It is true that some students will be ready to give you a movement. It is true that some students will be ready to just do a base non-locomotor movement. And we accept and we encourage any choice that they make. In the virtual space, a nice way to do this is to tell your students, once I say ready and pass, I'm looking to see who is changing the movement. And then I'm going to call out who I see changing the movement, right? So I might say, ooh, I see Mary changed her movement to brushing off her shoulders. Here we go. Everybody brush your shoulders off, right? Or you can say, when I'm done, I'm going to ask you to put your hand on your nose so I can see who's ready to share. And then whatever student has their finger on their nose, then you can say, ooh, I see Penny has her hand on her nose, right? So we're going to do what Penny does. So those are some really great ways to continue to do pass a dance in this space. I want to note that I was not using music during this time because I think also too what's beautiful about movement and dance is that we can utilize music to encourage and stimulate movement, but we don't always have to use it, right? But you can use it in your classroom however you are motivated to use it. So feel free to use music that has a steady beat there and will help you with it. Feel free to use music that has like nature sounds and see what kind of options come from there. Okay, so now the second strategy that I'm going to share with you is choreography. And when we think about choreography, I think sometimes we think that, ooh, it has to be intricate. It's not choreography unless it's this, right? But choreography can be anything and it can be everything. And I love to really start with this idea of frozen poses. And when I think about choreography and when I think about movement in the classroom and with children and with teachers and educators in this space, it's whatever our bodies are thinking about and however we are thinking to respond to that situation. So I would first invite frozen poses, right? And I would ask students to make any frozen pose that you can make in space. And we know that frozen poses are the shapes that your body makes in space. It is a still moment. It is like a statue in a museum or a picture in a book, right? And so once they just first get the opportunity to explore what their bodies might do when creating a frozen pose, then we introduce levels. And in dance, we have 3 different levels. We have our high level, so I would ask students to make a frozen pose of high. We have our middle level. I would ask students to make a frozen pose in their middle level. And we have our low level, and then I would ask students to make a frozen pose down low. So if you are sitting in your chair and you want to make frozen poses with us, or if you're ready to stand with me, go ahead and stand with me, and you can just feel these different levels right along with me. So let's all go ahead and make a frozen pose up high. And in your middle level. And down low. And then go ahead and shake, shake, shake it out. So now how does this tie into self-expression? How does it tie into getting into that curriculum? We ask students to think about a word that describes you, right? So for this age group, you might say a friendship quality. You might already be working on adjective words. You might be working on character traits. Wherever you are at with your children, you're going to ask them to think about, again, in this non-judgmental way, a word that describes you. What do you think of when you think about yourself? Or what do other people think when they think about you? And then you would ask them to just show you that in a frozen pose, right? You would say, ready? And show me your frozen pose that describes you. And then shake, shake, shake it out. And then you might say, show me again, all the way up in your high level. Ready? Make any choice that you want. It can be up high, middle level, or down low. Ready? And go. And then shake, shake, shake it out. And then we would say, we're going into this idea of choreography, right? And so we know that we're asking children to make these decisions on the spot. And so it's this idea of improvisation. Can you make a decision on the spot and know that whatever decision you make in this moment is a great decision, right? So I would ask students make that frozen pose that's in your head of who you are up high and hold it. And then in your middle level, and then in your low level, right? And then we would shake, shake, shake it out. And then we would go into this idea of how do we think about remembering that, right? So we would go over it a few times. We would make sure that students are remembering the ideas that they're coming up with. Okay, and so today we talked about how we can use choreography to explore our levels in dance, high, middle, and low, through frozen poses with an opportunity for self-expression. And I really believe that self-expression and this opportunity to dig into oneself helps children to care about what is happening outside of them. Thank you so much for dancing with me. I'm going to pass it back to Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Valerie. And please submit any questions that you have for her in the Q&A feature or the chat. Our final presenter is Kofi Dennis. Kofi is a master wolf trap teaching artist and a trainer of other wolf trap teaching artists. He has conducted wolf trap work locally in the DC metro area, nationally, and even internationally. He is also a professional percussionist and a storyteller. Kofi is going to share today about how to bring children's literature to life through drama, how you can use drama and music too to help children understand the concepts of character, setting, and story in a deeper, more meaningful, more memorable way. He's going to be using the book Share, Big Bear, Share that includes some really rich social emotional content. However, you can take the drama strategies that he shares and use them for any children's book. So take it away, Kofi.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And so my name is Kofi Dennis, and master teaching artist with Wolf Trap. And you've heard a wonderful presentation from Penny and Valerie. And as you know, even though my disciplines is drama and music, we're going to concentrate on drama today. But you've heard all the wonderful, ideas from Penny in terms of what she did, and also all the wonderful ideas from Valerie in the dance movements and the locomotor and non-locomotor. With Penny, she was talking about using all her voice, different voices, making voices to present the puppets. Well, to promote literacy with drama or music, dance, first you need to think about who the practitioners of drama, right? The practitioners. And the practitioners could be you, me, students, teachers, anyone. And we call them actors, right? So what are the things they use to make their art form come about? And those are the tools. So think about tools, right? So I came up with this song. Do you know what actors do when they use their actors' tools? And it goes like this. Do you know what actors do when they use their actors' tools? Right? Sing with me. Do you know what actors do when they use their actors' tools? Right. So what do they use? They use actors use their voice. Actors use their body. Actors use their imagination to bring their stories all around. Actors use their imagination to bring their stories all around. So if we look at just this, right? These are the things, the necessary things that we need, the tools that practitioners need in order to bring about drama. So to promote literacy, what you're doing as an educator, as a teacher, as an artist, is to now make sure that you are exploring these tools, right? Exploring these tools. In other words, you want to dissect, analyze, and then bring them together, right? And by way of exploring them, those are your vocabulary, your phrases, your sentences. The kids experiencing them, automatically, they are achieving comprehension, right? And the other key word that I want to use is accessible. These are accessible to the kids. Their voices, they have them. They have their bodies, right? And so then you look at the elements of drama, right? In order for you to do drama, you need a plot. And that's a story. Now, who tells the story? Well, the storyteller or a narrator, right? Where does the story take place? Well, it's a setting, the environment, a place. So you want to think about, how are you going to get to that place to tell that story? And then there's the character, the element of character. The characters in the story. How do you develop characterization? Well, you use your body, you use your voice, you use your imagination, you use emotion, right? And then you need help in bringing about this characterization, the setting and everything. So costuming and props are essential. So think about it. When you're exploring the actor's tools vis-a-vis the elements of drama, each segment, as you go through with children, what you're doing is that you are getting them to dissect everything, put them together to achieve comprehension. That is your basis of literacy, right? So now let's take it again. If you go back to our actors' tools, right? Do you know what actors do when they use their actors' tools? Actors use their voice. So how are you going to use your voice? Well, remember, voice variation, right? In music, it could be pitch, right? High voice, hello, head voice, hello. Low voice, right? So you think about an emotion, sad. You show me your sad face and a sad sound. Can you do that with me? Sad face. Use your body to make your sad face. And use your voice to bring about your sadness. The opposite is happy. How do you use your body to show happy? Use your face and your body. Those facial expressions and your voice. And then how about angry, mad? So you're using your voice and body, you can't separate it, right? And then how about other things? Apart from emotions, how about if, for example, exploring the environment, the setting, the wind, and this wind blowing, how would you use your voice to make the sound of a wind? Show me. And then as the kids are exploring that, you can bring your props, maybe a prop like this, to help them to amplify the sound of the wind. That's my sound pipe or my sound tube. So again, you're using props, you're using your voice, your body, you're bringing about, you're trying to explore the setting. Is it raining? How do you use your voice and your body? Right? Is it sunny? How do you use your body and your face? Oh, the sun is bright. The sun goes down. The same thing, emotion, happy and sad. And then how do you use props to, to reinforce that? So, okay, the sun shines bright, sun goes down. If you're happy, show me with your happy body and happy face. Yay! Oh, sad. So you have the props that enhance what you're doing with your voice and your body. So as you explore all these elements with the children, what you're doing is that as you experience it, they do the action, they see the word, right? So remember, you are developing your vocabulary. They do the action, you see the word, they explore, they know what these all means. How about if we're going to a place to tell a story, and in this case, maybe there are trees. So how are they going to use their bodies to show you a tree or a leaf, even a leaf falling? Which part of the body will show the leaf falling? Maybe it's just their hands, right? So you trace, and this also helps with class management when you're just seated and then they use their hands as a leaf or their whole body. Or there's a tree. This arm becomes the tree with the branches. But then you can also get up to show the whole tree, right? And then exploring all those, and then how about the characters, characters in the environment, all right? So it's important to explore these elements of drama, as I said, and then vis-a-vis the tools of the actors' tools. So what I'm going to do now is to share with you how I might explore this book, Share, Big Bear, Share, by, Maureen Wright. And this is a book, like you see it right there on your screen. Share, Big Bear, Share. It's just about a bear who doesn't, listen well, who's not paying attention, right? And he has this pail of berries, and he's so excited, and he's eating it. His friends are all around, they want some, but he's not sharing. And so the oak tree speaks out and says, share, Big Bear, share. But Big Bear, because he's not paying attention, is always thinking about other things like rhyming words. Oh, maybe, you mean I should, sit on a chair? Oh, you mean my hair, comb my hair? Oh, sleep in my lair? Oh, you mean share as in scare? So these are all vocabulary stuff. But in order for me to do this, there's a key strategy that I use, and that is imaginary travel. Okay? So now we want to explore how we're going to get there. That means we are exploring the characters in the book. You can see the bear. There's a red bird right there. And then some squirrels. There are characters in the book. You may choose how many of these characters you want to use and then explore them. So everybody, all the children are, experiencing it, right? So that means going through the body parts of the bear. Okay, show me your bear head. Okay, your bear ears. Okay, your bear broad shoulders, your bare arms, and your bare stump, your bare foot. That's right. Okay, and then put on your fur. So as you go through this, you're giving them those vocabulary. And then, don't forget, what does a bear sound like? Let me hear your bear sound. Growl. How might it sound so happy? Let me see your happy bear growling faces. And sadness. Good job. All right. So then you go through that of a bird. Okay. Now the bear has a low voice. So once you go through the bird, that is the high pitched sound. Tweet, 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 tweet. You're happy, birdie. Oh, wings, flap your wings, flap your bird wings. Let me hear your sound. Tweet, 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 tweet. So then you go through the other characters like the bunny, the rabbit. You want to tell them to hop on one foot. Okay, hopping on one foot, right? Going through that characterization by way of, exploring all these characters, before you go. And now using the imagination to travel. You can just sometimes just use, the hey, 1, 2, 3. When you hear the sound of my chime, then we are there. Or you can all pretend to go on maybe the magic carpet, right? A pretend carpet that will take you there. But I would like always to tell the children to be involved. So, hey, how are we going to get there? And if they say, oh, we should drive or walk or run, okay, you can choose to go there. You tell them that when we get there, maybe you are going to be part of the story. Maybe you are going to be the narrator. Or you may be a character also narrating. It's your choice. So now let's get ready to go. I might get them to do a steady beat. Get ready. All right. So tell them, again, give them some clue. All right. So the wind is blowing. When the wind was blowing, let me hear your wind blowing. The sun came up. After that, let me see your sunshine coming bigger. And down. And all the kids in Miss Jennifer's class are ready to travel to the storyland. Here we go. You ready? Oh, did you say we are driving? Okay. Open the door of your car. Sit in and shut the door. Don't forget to buckle up. All right? Buckle up. Okay. Are you buckled up? Great. Ignition. Brum, 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 brum. Here we go. All right, here we go. We are driving to Storyland. We are driving to Storyland. We are driving, driving, driving. You hear that? Here. Let's call the storyteller. Ready? Oh, storyteller, come here so we can see you. Oh, he didn't hear you. Let's call the storyteller again. Sing with me. Oh, storyteller, come here so we can see you. Oh, hello, my friends. Did you call me? Well, I'm here. I'm the oak tree. I'm the oak tree. I have a lot of acorns on the tree. And I'm going to tell the story of what happened here in the woods, okay? All right, well, once upon a time, my friend, so you see, I brought this prop. All of a sudden, I turned myself into the oak tree. Now I'm part of the drama, but I'm also narrating. Now you can do two things. You could bring up a story box, or a story can with all the characters and begin to sequence the story. Like there was a bear, a big bear, who had a pail of berries and he's eating and wouldn't share. And then his friends came up. There was a squirrel who asked for it, but bear wouldn't share. And then a bird who asked for it, bear wouldn't share. Or a bunny who came up, please, please. He was sad, but the bear wouldn't share. And then, of course, Oak Tree says, share, big bear, share. And then I am encouraging my friend to say that with me, okay? Repeat that with me, but sing it along with me. Share, big bear, share. One more time. Share, big bear, share. And anytime I say share, big bear, share, I need all my friends to help me sing that again. Share, big bear, share. And then, of course, Big Bear will pretend, because he's not listening, he might say, you mean I should comb my hair? And then I'm going to say, no, I mean, please share your berries. Share, Big Bear, share, right? So here you can have the kids, group them into the characters. So you have the bear, you have the other characters, the birds and the squirrels and so forth, right? Since you've gone through all those explored, the characterization, show you the sad faces when they need it, and speak, please share. And then, of course, the bear finally said, oh, you mean I should share? Oh, okay, here, I'm so sorry. Oh, here, do you want blueberries or red berries or blackberries? Okay, oh, here, oh, sorry, and here, and so forth. So within this, you could do a whole lot, as I said, but the important thing here is to know that this gives you a lot of opportunity for literacy development, okay, and then to achieve comprehension as children go through all of these explorations. There you have it. All right. Thank you so much. I know there are questions and answers coming up, so I will answer some of your questions.
Thank you so much, Kofi, and thank you to Penny, Valerie, and Kofi for sharing their expertise, and thanks to you all for participating along with us. As a reminder, we will be making this recording and the PowerPoint available, and we'll email you once it's available so you can access it. We want to take some time now for your questions. First, I think we'll start with a question for Penny. We've had some questions about how to manage using puppets in the classroom. Can you share any strategies that you have for those who are teaching in person who have COVID restrictions, no sharing of materials, no circle time, and just more generally, how do you manage children all wanting to have the materials at the same time?
It's a great question. Pre-COVID, I would always pass the character around so everyone can feel it and touch it and look at it. We won't be doing that, and I'll just keep explaining that. In terms of something like the Pete story, in most cases, I think children understand that they're going to get what they need to be successful in class, and their peers are going to get what they need to be successful. And that teacher did have a couple extra Petes for other people to have a turn, but the children did realize that this friend needed Pete in a different way. I also feel like these really puppets that you can make with whatever materials you have can work. I use a lot of zippered bags, clear plastic bags, to keep the puppet that they made so they aren't sharing. I also use a lot of laminating to make it easier to clean things. But generally what I would do is keep a baggie for each child with their puppets, and they only use that puppet for now. And I also, most of my puppets come from thrift stores. I throw them in the washing machine. So I'm washing my puppets pretty regularly these days.
Thank you, Penny. And also have a question for Valerie. Do you have suggestions or ways to make the locomotor and non-locomotor movements concrete? So are there any strategies you use for doing that, or do you have visuals you use, that kind of thing?
Yes, so definitely one of the reasons I would just say that I love Pass a Dance, right, is because that's one thing that says exploring that one movement can be done in all different body parts, right? So that's the first thing, and really kind of finding those moments of when to dive into that. Because I think when we think about even like bend or twist, we think, okay, my knees bend and my upper body twist, and like that's the only option. And so really exploring all of these different possibilities of twisting or bending that can happen in the body. And then I would also offer, I do utilize pictures, and you can use pictures that are concrete, that have the word bend on them and show the word bending, right, in a curved fashion. You can also, right, like I honestly and truthfully, I look up just some pictures, some Google images that I can utilize for children to make reference points, right? For them to see things that bend or things that twist, and they can try to like make these personal connections for themselves. Yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Valerie. Kofi, can you talk a little bit more about strategies that you have for transitioning the children into characters, sort of from being a child to being an actual character, taking on a voice body?
Yes, thank you. Yes, so again, once you have made the children aware of how to use their bodies and how to use their voices and so forth, then if you want to transition them into an actual, say, the bear, then you want to go through the notion of, all right, now show me your bare head, right? And then you shrug your bare shoulders, right? And then your big bare legs. And then you go through those body parts. Okay, your claws. Oh, don't forget to put on your fur. Birds have fur, not hairs. So you go through, oh, don't forget, so as you go through that, and then, oh, your snout, don't forget that. And then, finally, your bare, happy growl. Let me hear the sound. Growl. Oh, that's scary. So you go through that, and of course, if it's a tree or whatever, the same thing. You want to, since it's more about literacy, again, you want to itemize and you want to describe and give out the parts of the tree so the kids can assemble them on, right? And then they know what is going on. And then real quick, especially if it's a special ed, maybe visually impaired or whatever it is, sometimes what you need to do is to represent the characters with musical instruments, the tactile musical instruments. So like maybe the bear, you have the boom, stomp your feet, right? That one, they are able to figure it out. And then maybe something like that, a bell. And if you represent these, the characters with instruments, they are able to just come in with those instruments. Or, as I told before, just a simple hat, different visor like this, the color coded, you put it on and they are right into it, they know what to do. Thank you.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Valerie and Kofi and Penny, for sharing today. If you're interested in seeing more arts integrated lessons like those our artists shared today, we encourage you to visit education.wolftrap.org. The site provides access to many virtual resources such as lesson plans and instructional videos. We also highlight our resources and other resources on our Twitter at wolftrap_edu. That's wolftrap_edu. So you can also find us there. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in today and for your interest in bringing joyful arts learning to young children. At the end of the webinar, you'll be prompted to complete a short survey. It should only take a few minutes. The survey is also in our chat right now. We really appreciate your feedback on your experience today. Please take care, and thank you again for joining us.